Welcome to Talking Grit.
Hey, Lions fans, Jason here from Talking Grit. Talking a little wrap up here. Lions beat the Commanders 44. Just quick thoughts after the game, what I liked, what I didn't like. The thoughts on Dan Campbell calling the plays. A little shocking for me. Did not expect that going in. Love the flow of the game. It seemed to be much better, but I'm trying to remind myself it was against a Commanders team that is missing a lot of pieces. And, the way the game this ended up, this is the way we expected it. Score-wise, at least that's the way I did. But it's great to have expectations met, especially when, you expect to blow out a team 44-22. Offense played really well. Goff played really well. Obviously, Gibbs did. I thought Montgomery ran really well as well. The defense is kind of disappointing me a little bit. Just some of the big plays that they let up, some of the explosives. I think Shep's going to be very unhappy with that. A couple of those bigger plays were like miraculous catches. We had pretty good coverage on them, and it just didn't, they did not, finish the play. We'd like to see it get the ball out there, get the ball back in the offense's hands. But offense scored on every position except for the last one, which is a kneel down, so you don't expect them to get that. Special teams again, very disappointing. Bates had an extra point blocked. He had a field goal that looked like he definitely hit really, really low. Lucky that wasn't blocked. And coupled with last week's against the Vikings, we got to figure this out. And then letting a big return and then, letting basic Commanders get right back, into the game. They go 3-0 the first one, we score, and then we let up a big return, and then they get a field goal on it. It's just really, really frustrating that I really feel like we have really good special teams players. We have something that the Lions really emphasize, and, they keep letting these big plays up. I love our special teams coach. I don't think a change needs to be made there. However, Phipps got to figure this out and get the players, to wrap it up. Now, I do think on that big return, there was a hold. You could see a player's jersey just being stretched out. I'll have to look it on the All-22 to see who it exactly was. But I remember on the in-game replays, they showed and there was you could see shoulder pads. So I'm pretty sure there was a holding on that. Regardless, we shouldn't leave it all up to one player. We should have been able to get that down. Goff, what can I say about him? Finding the open guy, and we found JMO, and that was huge on crossers, and they just kept going back to it. Washington had no answer for that. I want to see more of that. I want to see the ball in JMO's hand and let him get free. And, some of those will turn in longer gains, will turn into touchdowns. Gibbs' first touchdown, where we basically just shoved him in the end zone, was amazing. And Amon-Ra, basically, just almost pulled him in there. You can't pull, but he was just kind of on the side and then just gave him enough to get in there. It was great. I loved it. And yeah, can't really complain about too much in this game other than the defense and the special teams. Like I said, I want to keep this going. It's a big game next week versus the Eagles. The Bears unfortunately came back today. Russell Wilson sucks. Couldn't do anything as soon as Jackson Dart was out. That game was over. At least the Ravens beat the Vikings. They'll keep them low on the totem pole in the division. And we'll see what happens with the Eagles and the Packers tomorrow. I picked the Eagles to win. I don't know if that's because I hate the Packers so much or I really think the Eagles are going to win, but the Packers really haven't looked good. I mean, they lost last week, Carolina at home. They barely made it out of Arizona. But they haven't looked really good outside of week 1 and then week 2 versus the Commanders. They've kind of have not progressed. So it'd be a big matchup next week with the Eagles. If we take that, then we are on our way to taking the division and then maybe the NFC too. So got any comments below? What did you like about the game? What was your favorite Gibbs touchdown out of the 3? They were all explosive, just dominating was the word I'd use for Gibbs. It's finally nice to see him get his due. I did notice one thing before I head out of here that I really liked is that they were mixing up Gibbs and Montgomery in the same drive a lot more in this game. And I do like that because that mixes it up and the defense doesn't know what to expect. Last week when it was on a Gibbs drive, Vikings were blitzing a lot more and Gibbs was faltering in pass protection. That, maybe this is a result from that. I'm not sure, but I do like mixing it up in the middle of the drive a little bit more and gives us a little unknown, and we're not as easy to read. So we'll all see. But good win. Good to get back on the win column. Go Lions.